All right, it is time for our State Farm Insurance combination of the game. You know, when you have the right combination, great things happen, like this. Hunter will initiate the offense with 20 on the timer. Bounces left wing now to EB. EB lobs it back door, and flushes with two hands. A great backdoor cut by O, and a beautiful find by EB. Yeah, beautiful on both ends indeed. That's your State Farm Insurance combination of the game, presented by State Farm. Talk to an agent about combining your home and auto into a plan that's right for you. Here to help life go right. State Farm, the State Farm Insurance combination of the game. Elijah Brown to a botch a jet, the lob for the dunk. Is the final. It is time for the Delta Dental Coach's comments, brought to you by Delta Dental of New Mexico, as we welcome in Lobo head coach Craig Neal. Coach Neal, man, I want to ask you about your bench, in particular Anthony Mathis and Connor McDougal. They really stepped up today and played terrifically.
Yeah, they just took advantage of an opportunity and did a really nice job. I thought Connor was really active today and wasn't kind of frozen. I thought he played like we thought he was going to play, and I'm hopefully it can continue. But I think one thing that helped Connor was having four shooters on the floor. It spread the floor out. I think with Anthony on the floor, Damon Jefferson and Dane and Elijah, you have to guard those guys. And if you don't, then Connor's going to get stuff easy to the rim. We had great opportunities. You know, he played terrific. I thought Anthony Mathis did a great job. Yeah, offensively, the first half looked like you had ball penetration, and that was keeping you in the game and scoring. And then the second half, a lot of those high pick and rolls with McDougal, and then it kind of just shut down. I mean, it was tough to produce offense. Well, I don't know if it was tough to produce offense. I think the decisions that were made by our players were tough offense. The thing that this group has to get over, when you cut it to a one-possession game and make two mental mistakes defensively and give them three-point shots, you can't come down and get a seven-point shot. You can't come down and make a home run or hit a grand slam. That's when you got to show poise and patience, and that's when we took bad shots, bad decisions, bad plays. And they've got to learn that they've got to have more poise, and we got to do a better job mental toughness-wise on what to do when that happens to us when we go down 5 or 6 or 7. We call timeout. We say we're going to chip it away, exactly what we want to do. We do it. And then we don't have another timeout because you're only allowed so many to say the same thing, and we make two defensive mental mistakes, and they bust two big threes, and then we come down and make bad plays, take bad shots. It comes a time when some of your veteran guys got to step up and control it, but we just got to do better with our patience and with our poise on what we're doing offensively. Offensively, looking at Dane Kuiper, he struggles here even this afternoon and then the last couple of games. How does he produce points other than just jump shooting? And because he's not getting to the free throw line. Well, he's not getting to the free throw line because there's nobody telling him not to drive it. So, if you're going to come off screens and you have an opening to drive it or curl it and catch it and drive it, you have to drive it. And, that's on me. I've done a bad job teaching him to do that. And, we got to work on that. But he comes off a down screen and a guy's chasing him and he's got the ball. He's got to drive it in the paint and make a play for somebody else or make a play for himself. He did it one time in the first half. And then he really didn't look to do it. He's super talented. He can get to the rim. He's got great legs, but he's not just a jump shooter. Right. And if you're going to convince yourself you're just a jump shooter and you miss one or two in a row and you're going to start pressing, that's right. Then it's going to be difficult for you. It's going to be difficult for you. And he's not a jump shooter. He's a great jump shooter, but he's a player. Until he gets it through his head that he's an all-around player, then he's going to have games like that. And that's what specialty guys do. Specialty guys have games where they go 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 or 5 for 6 or 5 for 7. But Dane's not a specialty guy. Dane's a basketball player. That's what he was recruited for. That's what he's here for, and he's not recruited for a jump shooter. I want to go back to the sequence. You're down 13, 10 and a half minutes to go, and as you said, we step by step methodically worked our way back into the game. It was a great stretch. How did the Lobos do it? Well, I think the biggest thing is we made some shots, but I think the biggest thing is Jordan got a little tired, so I took him out and I went with Elijah and played him with the ball, and I played Damian Jefferson, Dane Kuiper, and Anthony Mathis, and Anthony Mathis made 3 big shots. And we spread the floor out and did what we wanted to do. But the biggest thing is we got consecutive stops. Yeah. And when you can get consecutive stops and guard the line and make it difficult, make them uncomfortable, then it's tough. But you have to do that not only when you're down and cut it back to one possession, you have to do that to the last 4 minutes of the game when it matters. And we didn't do it. We didn't do it 3 minutes and a half. They scored 13 points with 3 minutes to go before half. I mean, we're ahead, I think, 30-26 or 30-28, and it ends up being 38-31. And we gave up 13 points with 3 minutes to go before half. And you can't do that. They went on a 9-0 run. I was going to call timeout, and I thought, you know what? I think they can do it. I think we're going to try to see if we got some maturity, and they did it. Yeah. But we didn't do it to close the half, and we didn't do it to close the game, and that's what this group – it's happened for 3 years. You know, some of those guys have been here for 3 years with Sam and O, and then 2 years with Tim and Elijah, but Tim's not playing, not fair to him. But they got to get out of this mental toughness thing and making plays at the end and doing some things where we just got to make smart plays. And we've had many chances to get over the hump, and you'd think they'd learn, but tonight they made two big mental mistakes defensively that gave them 6 points, and then we came down and got in a hurry, and we weren't patient.
Speaking of guarding the three-point line.
They had 14.
Yeah.
Had 14. You're not going – I mean, give somebody 52 points from that line, it's difficult. I mean, especially, you know, we scored 71, scored 40 in the second half. We had a pretty good clip going, but, you know, the one thing that we're not doing, it's we got to the line, you know, 23 times because Connor did an outstanding job. And, you know, some other guys got to the line. Sam had a good game. I thought Sam was good. But it was hard for me to get Sam back in the game once we kept going. And once we cut to one possession, then I got him back in the game. But they hit those 2 threes, and it was a little bit too late. But I like how hard they're playing, guys. I mean, I think they're giving you everything they got. I mean, they're playing very hard, and we just can't – we're just not making the plays mentally. The thing that's really discouraging for them and for me is – you know, you guys hear me because this mic's here a lot, but, I mean, we're coming out of timeouts. We don't run what we're trying to do. We got a free throw with the sub, and they've got to communicate. We got to talk better, and that's one thing that I've always told you guys. That's why I don't like this era with all this phone stuff, because nobody talks. There's no personal communication. Right. And our guys, you've been around them, you know, we don't have a lot of communications, talking. We don't talk a lot. We don't have You know, how do you train or how do you do that? That's a difficult thing, and we've tried about everything you can. But our communication has to get better on the floor. Our communication has to get better at all times, and hopefully they'll get better at that.
Well, as we know, and there's permutations and all kinds of things, but you guys are still in good position going into the last weekend to be in the top 5 if you can get the home win over San Diego State.
Well, you got to win, but you don't want it to come down to that. I mean, that's not what you're playing for, and we let Fresno. I thought we did pretty well. I thought we had some flashes where we played okay. We were in that game till the second half. Later, Colorado State, we were tied at half. They made some pivotal shots in crucial times. We had a hard time scoring the ball like we did at Fresno. Tonight we scored it a little bit better because we got some guys on the bench. So we're just going to have to continue. But, you know, one thing that's evident and crystal clear to me is once we start having a little adversity, then the ball stops. The ball movement stops. The passing stops. And then there's a lot of stickage of the ball. There's a lot of dribbling with the ball, and that's something we have to improve on.
All right, Coach Steele, headed back home. You got a rare bye. You get it so late, but it's a good time. Hopefully Tim can get well.
Yeah, hopefully. But then again, guys, and you know, Hunter played this game at a high level. I don't want anybody to expect any miracles because you're talking about a kid that's probably the best all-around player. I still think Elijah Brown's the best player in the league. He's explosive. He does a lot of things. Everybody targets him more that Tim Williams is out. But if you look at all-around players in Tim Williams and rebounding and scoring and efficiency, he's got to be the best. And we've missed that for a month, and it's going to be really, really hard for a guy like that to come back and play a lot of minutes. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't run up and down the floor yet. So, I mean, I don't want people to think that he's just going to come back and we're going to throw him out there and he's going to be 18-9 or whatever he is per game. we're going to have to see what happens, and we won't know till Monday if he can come back or not. But it's going to be very difficult. But we'll see what happens, and we'll keep trying to get our guys better.
All right, Craig. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Lobo head coach Craig Neal, your Delta Dental coach's comments brought to you by Delta Dental of New Mexico. Almost 400,000 New Mexicans covered by Delta Dental plans. For more information, log on to deltadentalnm.com. Our P&M Reliable Player of the Game was Connor McDougal tonight. P&M here for you. All of New Mexico, reliable power, reliable people, reliable partner in our communities. P&M is nationally ranking consistently among the best for keeping the lights on. Here is your P&M Reliable Player of the Game, Connor McDougal. James found him this time, his first assist. And a hard drive by McDougal for the finish. Connor is fouled, and another chance for an and one. It would be his second of the day. He did convert it, and Connor McDougal finished with 17 points, a career high, 4 of 6 field, 9 of 12 foul line, 6 rebounds for CMAC in 15 minutes. Yep, 17 points in 15 minutes for Connor McDougal. He is your P&M Reliable Player of the Game. What a night for CMAC here in Laramie. And Hunter, he might have played even more minutes if he hadn't been gasping for air at the 7,200 feet of elevation in Laramie, 7,220. You could see him tugging on his shorts, but, this just a spectacular performance. He equaled his career high in boards, set a new career mark in points with 17 and 6, 17.6 boards. How about Connor's play today?
But McDougal, of course, that was the bright spot of the afternoon, and of course Mathis, the play of him. Both of these guys coming off the bench, and if there is a bright spot, that's really what New Mexico has been able to do, is develop their bench going into a conference tournament. Guys are getting minutes and they're being productive without Tim Williams in the lineup. So hopefully they can bring that productivity in to the last home game and then carry it on into the tournament.
And knock on wood, should Tim come back, whatever he can give you will be a bonus, but maybe all of this time without Tim, and if he does get back in on Saturday, a week from today, he will have missed 7 games. That allowed the other Lobos to get more comfortable to where they are ready to deliver when the lights are brightest in March in Vegas.
Yeah. So let's say, he gets released Monday. Mm-hmm. Williams gets maybe a couple practices in, and then he gets to play Saturday, get at home for senior night. Maybe he doesn't play, for 35 minutes, but maybe he plays
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Get some rhythm, get his wind back, and I think heading into the tournament, that's where you want him to be. And but just like Coach said, don't expect a lot from him.
No miracles.
No miracles. Yeah, he's not going to do that. But him back in the lineup is huge for New Mexico.
All right, time to select our Subway sub of the game. It would have been Connor McDougal, but he was the player of the game. So the Subway sub of the game, coming off the bench to deliver in the clutch, it was Lobo guard Anthony Mathis. After a James make, what can you do? Driving a kick for a Mathis 3 from the wing. You bet. Creation by Elijah Brown. His third dime. Big bucket for Mathis. Mathis in double figures with 10. Brown off the McDougal screen. Whips it to Mathis. Deep 3 on the way. You bet. Anthony Mathis stroking it right now. Yeah, the triple there by Anthony Mathis. Tony goes for a baker's dozen, 3 off a career best, 5 of 7 field, 3 of 5 distance, 2 rebounds as he goes for 13 in 16 minutes off the bench. He is the Subway of New Mexico, Subway sub of the game. Subway restaurants keep you going on and off the court. Stop in today. Subway, eat fresh.